Hey everybody, I'm Pat. This is Ray. Welcome to JetCast. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. At the time of this recording, it is Sunday night, so we just finished watching the Lions game, and pretty disappointed. Ray, what are your initial thoughts right now?
Just pure frustration. I feel like that was our game to have. The Lions were trying so hard to give us that game. You know, they completely outplayed us in the first half. I feel the second half was ours to have, as we have been all year, a second half team. And unfortunately, clock management at the end of the game, I think, really hurt us. We left a little bit of time on the clock, but I feel we should have started to use our timeouts a little earlier. And unfortunately, it really bit us in the ass.
What do you feel? How do you feel Zach played in this game?
It's like a roller coaster. You know, he's a young guy. We continuously talk about it in our spaces, in our halftime shows, and our post game shows on Twitter. It's almost like you don't know what you're going to get with him. In the beginning of the game, he looked horrible. He could have easily had a pick on the first drive. It was dropped by the DB going to the ground. He throws that interception, which is out of left field. It's like, what are you doing? That's not what the second overall pick should be doing. We drafted you to lead this team. And then you get drives in the third quarter where he's throwing the ball over the place. He's dotting up the Lions defense. He's making off-platform plays. And you're like, this is why we drafted this kid. But unfortunately, we just don't see it enough out of him.
I feel like he played well enough for us to win the game. But I also feel like if Mike White played, we would have won the game outright.
I agree.
There were plenty of throws across the middle where guys are wide open and he's just flat out missing them. I counted at least 5 watching the game back. And, you have Garrett Wilson, throwing his hands up again in the middle of the field because a pass.
Yeah, it can't be doing that.
Pass is just too far out in front of him. I get his frustration. He would come back and have that big catch, down the right side to from Zach in the in the fourth quarter to set up the go ahead score at that point. But it's so frustrating watching him play. It's frustrating watching the play calling too. These deep routes to Berrios I can't watch.
In double coverage, nonetheless.
Double coverage. No screenplays, nothing, why aren't we throwing, to Michael Carter out of the backfield? Why am I watching
all year?
Yeah, why am I watching these quick screens again to Berrios, where half the time Zach is bouncing the ball to him again? Like the not only do I have to deal with holding my breath anytime Zach throws the ball, but now I have to worry again about the play call. The play call is completely different when Mike White is in the game. I just don't get it. Do they not trust him to make these short screen passes? Do they not?
I actually think that is the case. We saw it out of the backfield. How about that throw to Berrios out of the backfield? He's short.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yards. This is. We can't sit here as Jet fans. I see the rah in our spaces. We can't sit here and act like we didn't see this coming. We specifically broke down the game plan of the Lions yesterday. It's no secret. We knew they were going to load the box. They were going to say, Zach Wilson's going to have to beat us. We literally broke down exactly 4 things that the Jets were supposed to do today in order to win the game, and they did none of them. Zonovan Knight, they couldn't get going because their offensive line kept getting pushed back because they kept bringing their safeties down. We had no pass rush at all. Another game where we had 0 sacks. So that means the last 3 games we have 4 sacks combined, but the 3 games prior we have 18. It's just unacceptable.
Quinnen Williams.
When you're not able to create those pressures, it's just it's not going to go well for you.
Quinnen Williams is going to get paid a boatload of money because of a game that he didn't play in.
It's unbelievable.
It's night and day when he's in there. He pulls so many double teams. It's double and triple teams sometimes that it just opens it up for the rest of the line. He's a difference maker. They cannot allow him to go anywhere.
I think a lot of the frustration comes from you see guys like Carl Lawson getting banked. You see guys like John Franklin Myers getting paid. Use a first-round pick on guys like Jermaine Johnson. And Jared Goff is back there singing Kumbaya by the campfire. And we saw this last week against the Vikings as well. There's just no pressure. It's back to that old type of defense. And what I don't like is I feel like, we could sit there and say, yes, the Jets defense overall played great today, even without getting any pressures. But in the most critical moments, we come up small.
Yeah.
The last week it happened against the Vikings. It happened today, obviously, against the Lions with that huge play at the end of the game that ended up costing us the game. When we need pressure, we don't have that one guy where we can say, go get after it. Even Quinnen. Quinnen is a great interior player, but he's not an absolute elite pass rusher, Aaron Donald in his prime. He is an elite defensive tackle. But I expect more out of guys like Carl Lawson, and I'm tired of guys like Jermaine Johnson getting a pass. He was a first-round pick, I think, because we have 3 first-round picks that are starting for us, and 2 of them playing at all-pro caliber talent level, especially Sauce. I feel like Jermaine Johnson's getting a bit of a pass. If we didn't have those other 2 first-round picks, a lot of Jet fans would be getting on him. I want to see this pass rush start to step up. There's enough excuses because it doesn't get any easier. Trevor Lawrence is lighting it up in Jacksonville. This game, I guarantee you, when we were going through the schedule to start the year, everybody had this as a win. Jacksonville's looking at us like, all right, this is our get easy game.
Yeah, and now we got a short week for Zach to prepare. It doesn't feel good because they're playing really good football right now. So where are we? I gotta look at my phone actually. Where are we now with the playoff?
We're still technically in the hunt. I mean, now that we've lost today, we need so much to actually help us. I mean, New England's 7-7, we're 7-7. They might as well be 8-7 because they have the tiebreaker. Miami's 8-6. If they lose a few more games, we have them the last game of the year. Jacksonville is right there now. They're 6-8. They beat us. They've been 7-8. We're 7-8. You got to go. Keep on going down. The Chargers are 8-6, and if you look at the Chargers' schedule, they're playing teams like the Colts. They're playing bottom of the basement teams these last few weeks.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. This is the NFL. I mean, hell, the Texans were beating the Chiefs at halftime. Who had that? In a 14-point spread. But it's not looking good. And unfortunately, if we went around the NFL right now, show me one team that's in contention that has a worse quarterback situation than we do. You just don't find it.
No, you don't. Big loss by the Patriots though today. I think they lost right at the end of regulation. I didn't see it, but I heard on a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Now, there's a good chance that they lose out the rest of the season. They got the Bengals, they got the Finns, and they got Buffalo, I believe. So
it would be cool. It's so crazy because now when you look at it, it's such week by week when it comes to the standings because we want the Dolphins to lose, but then when they play the Patriots have the tiebreaker with us, so it's going to be so week to week. I mean, I'm looking at the Chargers' schedule, their last 3 games. They have the Colts next week on Monday Night Football. Then they play, they're home to the Rams, and they're at the Broncos. I mean, 3 just bottom of the basement teams right now that might even be mailing it in the last 2 weeks. We've seen this every single year where teams that are out of it, their players are already thinking about the vacation that they're going to be going on in the off season. So we're going to have to say a prayer and try to get some help. That's the only way, and we're just going to have to play better. I actually like the fact we're on a short week because it doesn't give quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence to really game plan against this defense. I want to see us start.
But that goes both ways. That goes both ways.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm not very confident.
We already have a poor quarterback situation. I
know. So yeah, not only we have to take care of business. At this point you have to win 10 games, which means we're gonna have to win out. And it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult I'm gonna say it's gonna be difficult if Mike White is not playing. I'll say.
You know he's not going to be playing this Thursday. There's just no shot. They're not going to clear him.
No shot. I mean, let's be real. The defense has held teams to 20 points and under all season, and that's usually a winning formula.
This Thursday is the entire season, without a doubt. Think about it. You beat Jacksonville. The Seahawks have kind of fallen off. I give us a legit chance, and then with playoffs on the line, anything can happen against Miami. Miami. We have a lot of transplanted New Yorkers. I'm definitely going to try to be there for that Miami game in Miami. I'm lucky my father just moved down there not too long ago, so I got a place to stay. But
there you go.
The season's this week. That's what it is.
All right. Well, thanks for the time, Ray. We'll see everybody later in the week. We'll have another video coming out probably midweek. But thanks everybody for joining us. And let's hope we win on Thursday. That's all I can say at this point.
Go Jets.
Go Jets.